Share my screen. Welcome everyone. So today I wanted to talk about ways you could do multiple entries, multiple exits, and control them independently. I just created a quick trend/EMA crossover strategy to show this, and maybe we could turn it into something while we're on the call here. And if you guys want a preview of some stuff we've been working on, I could show you that at the end. So what I have up on here is just a simple trend magic indicator. If you don't have it, I'll drop it in the Algo Traders chat here. I believe I've shared it before, but it's just something simple. It uses 3 different parameters to identify trend. It can be a little lagging at times, but overall it's not so bad. And what you can do is you can use it to establish the overall trend, and then you can play pullbacks using a short-term EMA. So for instance, you could go and have like a fast EMA crossing below mid EMA while being red, and then you could take a short there, and vice versa. If you're green and you have a pullback during a green trend, you could do the same thing. So that's kind of what we're going to be working with today, is establishing pullbacks in an overall trend, and we're going to attempt to code a strategy that does that. So we'll probably be doing, we might use 2 time periods. We might use a 10-minute trend. S&P, I had to mute you. I can unmute you later if we have questions. But yeah, we're going to be using trend magic to establish the trend, and then we're going to be using a 3 EMA strategy. I'll share the breakdown on that, so if you wanted to go code this yourself differently than what we're going to be doing today, you can. I just found this using a quick Google link, and sometimes I like to just, if someone has a well-established strategy, I try to reverse engineer it and code it myself and see if it works. And maybe their version of it doesn't work, but maybe it'll give me an idea where I can figure out something that works for myself. So this is kind of the idea behind what we're going to do today. So I'm going to pull up the code here, and I coded in a couple different things here. I'm going to call this cuttlefish for having multiple arms, and the idea behind it is we have the trend magic indicator, establish whether we're bullish or not bullish. I have some bulls here that we're going to set is bullish, is bearish. Whether the way the trend magic is coded, you can't just use if it's green or red. You have to determine whether it flipped or not. So we're using these to flip that. I had to figure that one out, and then we're going to use 3 EMAs. Don't actually need this. And then I have all of our different, we're going to have 2 price targets, 2 stop losses. So I have that coded here. Here's our trend magic settings, and then here's our EMA settings. And then I put in the option whether we wanted to use 1 or 2 targets. So let's say you wanted to optimize 1 target and then optimize the next. We can do that as well. We have our, zoom in here as I go through the code. We have our targets here that we're establishing here. Now these are hard PT, hard stop losses. We could certainly, if you guys wanted to see how to use like an indicator or something for an exit, we could do that as well. And then here's our settings for our indicators. I have, if it's less, let the indicators have enough bars on the chart for them to work. And then basically what we're establishing right here is if the trend of the indicator is greater than it was previously, we're now bullish, and if it's less, it's now bearish. And then this is establishing whether the previous was bearish or bullish, and we're going to use that for some entries down here. So we have 2 different targets here. One is our traditional EMA crossover with a bullish and bearish trend, and then the other one is a crossover trend using the EMAs as an example. So let's say we wanted to use a fast EMA and a slow EMA, and we wanted to play the trend flip with it, we could do that as well. So that's something we're just going to play around with and see what the entries we like and what we don't like. And the properties down here are all the properties we need. So one thing you're going to notice when you're doing multiple entries is you're going to want this to have however many entries you have. So make sure your default there is 2, because if you don't do that, you're going to figure out real quickly that it's not going to work with the double entries, and you're going to pull your hair out until you figure out that it has to be 2. I always have a couple settings here. This is what for me, I always put 3600 for exit on close. That way I'm exiting on the cash session close and not that hour after. I always include at least 2 ticks of slippage, and then I always include the back test. I always say is unmanaged equals false, and then I always do is initiated on each optimization is false as well. So excuse me, I just needed a drink of water there. So any questions on the strategy so far? You can just type in general or algo chat. We're probably going to be playing around with these entries here. I just coded something just to get something going. Okay, I don't see any questions so far, so I have the back test here. I just tried to optimize something real quick for the last 3 months, but what you're going to notice is it's over optimized. So it's pretty good for the last 3 months. Been having 20K to 3K over the last 3 months. That's pretty good, right? 5,000 a month, 1.4 profit factor. Problem is we go back any farther, so let's say we go back to the beginning of next year, and it's pretty terrible. And we'll just let this run. It should be pretty quick. Now, one thing I will tell you about the trend magic is it's a multi-time frame indicator. So what that means is if you are optimizing, you need to click optimize multiple time frames. You don't actually have to have different time frames, but you can see once we went back a little further and tested out a sample, not so good. So that means we probably don't have a great strategy yet, and we need to either re-optimize for a longer period, or we need to change up some of our parameters. So if we're looking at the EMAs, the strategy I showed you is, we're looking for a cross while that is cross while we're in trend. So let's go ahead and change this to, let's comment this out for now, and we're going to change the initial entry. So let's use this one as our initial entry. So we want EMA 1 to cross above the EMA 2 and is bullish. So that means that we're in a green trend and we want to cross below. So what we're looking for is a pullback, and we're also looking for it in trend. So let's go ahead and optimize this. We'll save this. We'll re-optimize this. So what we're going to be doing here is using long PT ticks 2 and short PT ticks 2 here for this. I'm just going to run it with 40/40 and these parameters. and we're going to see how it does for this year. Not great yet, but we could have. Let's go ahead and switch to the optimizer. You want to check optimized data series when using it, so we're going to have to do that right now. So we're going to check just some simple parameters with this. I'm not sure what the best time frame to use this on, so we're going to go 1 through 10. We're just going to go the last 6 months, so this goes a little fast so you guys aren't sitting here for a while. And I'm just going to check 2 different settings, whether 20 or 40 is better. And that's it. We're just going to check that out and see what happens. If we get something, we can go with there, include commission. And we'll go max net profit. Let's keep the top 33. We'll run this real quick. And while that's running, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Can we see later how to adjust the stop loss to break even when the first target hit? So you want, instead of it actually selling at the target, you want the stop loss to be break even? Can you explain a little more, CMB? Okay, so you have 2 targets. You enter both on the same, so we would enter both right away. And then we would have 1 with a smaller PT, 2 with a larger PT, but when we hit the first PT, the second one is break even, so that can't lose. Does that sound right? Yeah, I have that. Yeah, we can code that. When we finish this, this won't take long. I don't want it. It looks like Ninja was kind of freaking out at the beginning, so I didn't want to mess with it while I was doing this. Well, we got a profitable strategy, but not really that great. So let's go ahead and show you that. Maybe instead of trying to build a profitable strategy, we'll show you how to do some stuff here instead. So let's enter 2 on this. I'll show you how to do that. So you got short 1 and short 2. You got long 1 and long 2. Oops. So there's a couple things you'll have to do when you're entering the position in order for it to track the break even. So let's go ahead and establish a variable at the top here, private double entry price. So in order for a break even to happen, we want to establish the entry price here. So I'm just going to do the close of the bar since we're entering this on bar close. Should be fairly accurate within a few ticks. So entry price is going to be closed there. We'll make a region below here for break even, where we'll work on changing that. So we'll have a short-term profit target for the first long and the first short, and then we'll be moving the long 2 and short 2 to break even. So in order to do that, we're going to be tracking the entry price so we know when to break even. And so let's see, we would do so if we're going to want to create a bull up here as well for BE set so that we only do it once. If BE set is false and position market position equals market position long, so what this is going to do is we need to also establish when we're going to do that. So we want when and close equals so we're going to need to establish a double here as well for break even price. Probably going to want that. Want that entry price plus break even price long. We'll need one for both. Short, if I can type, this one will be minus. I muted Jose today, but I can't mute him for everybody, so you guys will have to mute whoever is hot miking. So this will be, we'll want long PT. Short PT. Keep in mind this is ticks as well, so we'll have to calculate that in the ticks. We'll have to switch points to ticks, or ticks to points. I forget. I got a little bit of brain fog right now, but I think it's like master instrument ticks. Is that right? That can't be right. No. Yeah, it is. Hold on, I have it in one of my strategies. Let me go see if I can reference it. If one of you has the code for this part and wants to save me time, go ahead and put that in the chat. Yeah, what is the code for that? I'm just going to look it up real quick. Is that it? Okay. Like that. I think you just need this. Yeah. All right. So what this is doing is it's going to take the entry price which we recorded when we entered, and then it's looking for that plus your profit target, and it's setting that for the price long. And then we're looking for the break even to not be set yet, the position to be in the long, and the close is greater than or equal to the break even price. And then that'll then set the break even. And then we just need to double that up for the short side and change everything to short. Did that answer your question, CMB? We can test it out. Just pull up a chart here and see if it works on the chart. Cuttlefish here. We'll go first PT 40. Well, if we're on ES, let's just say 20. Just to get this to work, we'll go long PT 100 and short stop 40, 40. All right. Let's see. Just use Sim 101. That's fine. Hold on, I think I did my PTs wrong. Short PT 20. PT2. Oh, I might not have saved the code. Hold on. Oh, yep, the code didn't save. Hold on. Ooh, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you are right. All right. Now we're cooking. There we go. All right, so let's see if we can see. All right, so we got 2 entries. One of them hit stop loss there. The next one keeps going. And then because we're not checking for that, it's going to keep shorting the next one. So this hit PT here, but then, yeah, okay. We need to change something in the code here real quick. We need this to be flat so that we're not doing those multiple orders like we had.
Why do you think it was still entering short when it already said that not short? It's not that code is picking on. There was a not long on that section right there.
So it was not short on the long and not long on the short. So yeah, I just this should fix it. Yeah. Something's happening. Did I have 2 ticks for stop loss on this? No. Oh, you know what? I must be setting. Must have the break even wrong for this. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so break even short is entry size minus tick size times short PT. Break even price long is entry price. Let's separate these so they're different. Because I'm assuming it's still going off of this last one if it's the same candle. Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, hold on. Well, yeah, yeah. We're gonna put this above though. What is it? So that way it resets before it enters. Let's see if this fixes it. I understand what you're saying, but when you enter, it should reset it. And then we need get that set up. Yeah, it's taking a while to save. There we go. No, still hitting that stop loss. It's interesting is it's so one of them is entering, they're both entering at 57.70.50, and then the stop loss is at 57.71, so it's doing it 2 ticks above. Yeah, because this right here should have, it hit the profit target here, so it should have stopped out for break even right here on the second target. So it's not working yet for some reason.
Also, it seems like your entries were in the middle of the bar.
Doesn't it?
Do you have it on each trade cross vision for your
Let me look. Nope, it's on bar close. I think it's because I have 2 ticks of slippage on ES that probably should be 1. Either way, that shouldn't be affecting the break even on this. Okay, now we have print statements.
Maybe just try it like on and off the break even statement and see if it still works better.
You meant like
Yeah, just comment out like that whole break even part. This one.
one second. It looks like it's only doing it on the short side. That's why I'm thinking I might have. Yeah, it's working now without the break even, so something's wrong with the break even. The way we're setting the price. If close is greater than break even long price. Break price is entry price plus tick. Close is less than, which is entry price 2 minus. I mean, it should work. Let's see what the print statements come out. This right here should hit break even right here if this works. But it's hitting break even right there. So let's reload the Ninja script. I mean, everything is looking correct. So this short entry shorted at 57.52. The short price is $5 below. Long break even, because we didn't reset that, is we're not worried about that. The current price is there. See if we can find the most recent one and see. Okay, so this was literally the last trade. So short 2 had to have hit in stop loss. So do we have our stops wrong? Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at right now. Short 2, short 2. Yeah, everything's referenced correctly. Let's look in the settings again. So short stop 2 is, let's change everything to 100 on 2. Everything on 1 will switch to 50. Yeah, it's still something with, is the long side working at all? Long side's not working either. Entry price 2 for shorts. Oh, you know what? You might be right. That's a good catch. Watch, that fixes it. Let's try something else though.
Actually, on the one, there's one part right there. Go straight across right there.
Yeah, so the long side's working. Short side's not. Which makes no sense. So this is correct right here. So this is working now. Entry price 2. Okay, let's try to see if we make the variables separate, if that makes a difference. Still not doing it for the short. Is it just the one there, or is it multiple times that happens? Every single time short 2 is hitting stop loss, huh? I guess we could use average position price instead of doing it by that. Just give me a second. Let's try that. So instead of, let's do average position price. Then we don't even have to worry about these variables. Price. Okay, let's try that. Oh, that fixed that. Let's change the profit targets now because make everything the same stop, but we'll have the short profit target bigger. Okay, now the second stop loss is not working at all. No, that's not working at all. Yeah, try to do something simple and it ends up being a nightmare.
Here's what I do with our next solution. So obviously,
No, it should still work on unbar update.
yeah, but once that's first ordered, you're still back.
Yeah, the reason. Yeah, change back. So we know with this that the long side works. It's just the short side isn't working. That's okay, CMP. I'm sure other people want to use something like this too. So I have an idea of what. Let's move this down here and see if that helps. Wondering if the state configure is overriding it. I think that was it. No, that's. I changed the state configure where I changed where I was putting the stop losses at. So it worked here, but it didn't work here. It's so confusing why it would work half the time and sometimes not. So you can see this long, it works here, and then it works there. Same thing, it works here, works there, works there, works there. But yet right here, it hits the profit target. You know, it's because the close is below here. Okay, so we need to change the close to high. That makes sense. So if that should fix it. Yeah, you could do it on a lower time frame too. But the reason it's doing it is because this is on a 5 minute, so it's closing it right after. So yeah, what you would have to do is add a secondary data series for it. Say like a 1 second data series. And then you would just have to reference all of this in the one data series. So I was like, I have way too many days loaded for this to do what we want it to do. in an orderly fashion. So it'll take a second for that to load, but everything should work now. The joys of coding. Yep. See, we hit profit target, and then it moved to break even. Hit both profit targets here. You can see multiple times hits profit target, move to break even, etc., etc. So hit profit target, hit break even. I don't love using break evens for this reason, but there you go. There's your code. It works. All right. Any more questions on the break even? So these aren't really indented. I guess it doesn't really matter. We can fix that later. So now we want to see, let's see how much time we got left. So we got a few minutes left here. Probably not enough time to go into trying to make this profitable, but you guys have the basic code you need to make this. And so you have the basic code you need to make this. You have the references for everything in there, and then it's just playing around with the EMA crossovers and is bearish, is bullish. Let me go ahead and drop the CS in the chat here. Let me zip this, and I'll zip it with the strategy or with the trend, and you guys could play around with making it a little bit more profitable. But any more questions? Leave it open 10 minutes for questions here at the end here. This should show you how you can enter with two different profit targets, two different stop losses, how to manipulate the second stop loss based off the first hitting profit, and so on and so forth. These are market orders in here. Everything's market orders so that you get filled. Limit orders, we could do another class on limit orders in the future. Limit orders are a whole different beast because you have to properly manage them. I usually just do market and then plan for slippage. You can eliminate slippage with market or with limit orders. Problem is sometimes they won't get filled, and so you either need to cancel them on bar close or you need to have them canceled after so long, because usually you want that entry to be right away. With most strategies, a lot of strategies you're setting limit orders for the future. So you're like, okay, I want to set a limit order based on my levels for the day. There's different reasons why you would use limit orders versus market orders. Oh, output of real performance. Sure. So let's say you wanted the real performance. You can either go from your strategies tab or from your chart and go strategy, real time. Now we're not going to have it here, but you would go to trades and you would right click and you would share or export, and you can export your trades to CSV. If you wanted to export the performance, you can export that as well to CSV. So just whatever tab you're on, export that. So like if we wanted to do a real strategy, we could go to my strategies tab in the control panel here. We'll pick the worst one for fun and go strategy real time. And then we can go, we can export the trades. We can export the analysis, export the summary. Just go export to CSV. You can also do it to Excel if you wanted. Oh, you would probably have to write a Python script for that, Rakam, and run that Python at the end of every day. That's a much larger project that I don't have time to get into right now, but maybe that's something someone already did, or maybe that's something that someone would be happy to do. I don't have the time to do that for you guys right now. I think he did. Yeah, didn't he do that for where he could export it into his CSV every night?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jake has that already. So there you go. He might even have it in the strategy indicator share somewhere. You could probably search it up.
So he's definitely posting stuff on
Well, there you go. I'm gonna stop recording right now.